G'day, this is Gary007 and welcome to my channel. So, are rogues any good in TBC? What to expect from a rogue? If you're deciding to play a rogue in TBC, maybe you've played it in Classic and you're wondering what they're like in TBC, or you've never played a rogue before and you're just wondering, is the grass greener on the other side when you play a rogue? So, if you like this sort of content, don't forget to subscribe, leave a comment below and a thumbs up about your experiences with a rogue in a Burning Crusade. So without further ado, let's get straight into this video. So the rogue, let's start off with the PvE side of it. The rogue falls off tremendously when it comes to TBC, and I mean it's a fall from grace like no other. The rogue is the equivalent to a druid in Classic. It is equivalent to a hunter in Classic. The DPS disparity between a rogue and everybody else is massive. Do rogues get better in TBC? Yes. They get better around tier 5, tier 6. So if you got tier 6 on, you will start doing a tremendous amount of DPS. You start becoming relevant within the content. That's a catch-22 though. By the time tier 6 rolls around and Sunwell is opened up to you, let's be honest, the game is kind of over by then. Like, if you want to wait for the last 3 or 4 months of content in TBC to be relevant when it comes to PvE and start doing decent damage, then good luck to you, because that's the narrative that's going to happen. Nothing will change for you. There's nothing you can do about your DPS. And it's not so much the class's fault, you know, it's not the rogue's fault that you can't do the DPS. It's just everything around you is working against you, and the shift in the meta has gone away from rogues. And it's not just rogues that have been hurt, you know, warriors have been hurt as well, right? So PvE wise, you're going to struggle. Now, in saying that, if you enjoy playing the class, it's a different story, right? You're going to try and make it work no matter what, because you like playing the rotation of a rogue. The rotation of the rogue is simple, like every other rotation of every other class in TBC. If you enjoy playing the class, just play the class, right? I played a hunter in Classic and I enjoyed the hunter. I played a warlock, and a warlock wasn't meta. A warlock's not meta in Classic. It dropped off in the DPS charts, but I enjoyed playing the warlock and I enjoyed playing a hunter. So just take that in consideration, right? If you're looking to do big DPS as a rogue in PvE, that isn't going to happen. You'll have to play the class because you love playing a rogue. And saying that, so a lot of things work against you, mobs and trash packs, and even 5-man dungeons. Let's just forget about raids for a second and trying to get raid spots. Even 5-man dungeons are working against you, and it's not that you won't find it difficult to find a group, but you will come across occasions that become more regular where they'd rather not take a rogue, they'd rather take a warlock or a mage or a shaman or a hunter over you in a 5-man dungeon, even heroic. It's not to say you won't get into those groups, I'm just saying the difficulty is there for you. So what is the DPS disparity for a rogue compared to other classes? Okay, let's look at the first tier of content. You've got Karazhan, Grills and Magtherodon. Your DPS between you and a hunter is about 300 DPS. That's probably average, and I'm being really conservative here. So you'll have about a 300 DPS difference or 400 DPS difference between what sort of damage you do as a rogue compared to a hunter or a warlock. And there are things that work against you, like I said, even in 5-man dungeons when it comes to trash packs. They do a lot of AoE damage and stuff like that and really break your stealth. So generally as a combat rogue, when you open up, you would be in stealth, you'd Garrot, Sinister Strike, and then you'd do Slice and Dice, and then you'd work your combat points back up again to try and do a Rupture on the target or Eviscerate, depending on how fast the target's going down, right? when you try to get them behind ads and bosses and like that to do this ability, they often do an AoE which breaks you out of that stealth and able to do DPS. So some of your DPS falls away straight away. Not on all mobs, but a lot of the mobs, right? So you struggle to start with your combat points and your DPS. Later on in the expansion, you start to become more relevant. Raids are generally only going to take one rogue in a 10-man and 25-man. They'll take 1, 2, maybe, depending on the roster. Participate in raid activities and be active in the guild. Basically, do the right thing by the guild and always show up. Always be the first to show up. Log on. Be an active raider. Be an all-round good guy like you would be as a rogue, and you would find yourself on a raid roster more often than not than someone that can be big dick DPS. Because at the end of the day, a raid leader, GM, is going to take, a guildmaster is going to take somebody that will gel with the guild and gel with other players, and that's what they'll take along eventually. So they'll look at you, and if you turn up every day and you do the right thing, you'll get a spot on a raid. Just help out the guild, do what's required. If they ask from you, just do it and you'll get the gear. Find the right guilds, be active in that guild, and you'll go a long way, and you'll do fine. Everybody knows that your DPS is not going to be there. Yeah, don't let that discourage you, and I really hope that you all the best with it when it comes to raiding. So yes, they are horrible in PvE content. They are miles behind everybody else. But the funny thing is, right, and I'm being very casual about this, what I find is when I'm in 5-man dungeons and that, I'm often doing a lot of CC. I'm often doing kidney shots, sacrificing my own DPS to try and round up ads that, you know, warlocks have gone and seeded, and then aggro's been lost, and I'm running around trying to bring everything back. Combat spec, I don't really like combat spec. I like Hemo. I do like that spec. I do like sub, playing as a sub. And that's where rogues shine. They shine big time in PvP. And you'll probably get Gladiator in 2s running a mage rogue. You know, go all the way and you'll be able to get your PvP gear. If you like PvPing, then rogue is the rogue is one of the number one choices you want to be playing. So you want to be playing sub. It's generally 41 into sub and 20 into assassination. It is a fun spec to play. Rogues have a huge toolkit. So one of them's shadow step. So you're able to attempt to step through the shadows and reappear behind the enemy. 30-second cooldown. It's instant, and you've got a 25-yard range. You've got Cloak of Shadows, which is only a 1-minute cooldown with chance to remove 90% of harmful spells. That's massive, so you can put on Cloak of Shadows and then Shadow Step behind a mage that tries to lock you down. And you just plow into the mage. You got Shiv, so this is massive, right? Shiv is another new ability for a rogue. Performs an instant offhand weapon attack that automatically applies poison from your offhand. You also got another ability called premeditation, which is super awesome. So this is on a 2-minute cooldown, so this will be your full lockdown, right? So you can hit premeditation, which will add 2 combat points, but you've got to use them in the first 10 seconds. Then you hit cheap shot, so the target's being cheap shot, so you got 4 combat points on the target right now. Hit Hemo once, and you got 5. They're locked in, so when cheap shot comes off, then you hit kidney shot, right? So you get this full 6 seconds of stun. Then you can hit, if you like, Shiv. Instantly applies poison from your offhand. And of course, what you can do is when you can apply crippling poison, which stops the enemy from running away from you, right? So if an enemy is trying to run away from you and you just shiv them, then you've applied your poisons instantly. There's no ifs or buts about it. It's really helpful to try and keep targets close to you so they cannot run away. And you just keep hemoing, and then you eviscerate whenever you want to, or kick. And of course you got preparation. You can hit preparation and it resets all your major cooldowns, so you can vanish again. You know what I mean? So you can reset that, and it's super massive. Shiv is so important to your rotation. And the other thing you want to add to your rotation is Deadly Throw. So Deadly Throw It's a finishing move that reduces the movement of the target by 50% for 6 seconds. But this is the good part, right? So it doesn't sound like much, right? But if your target gets away from you and your shadow step or your cloak of shadows are down and you can't finish and your target gets away from you, you don't have blind up. In PvP, your Gladiator Gear, your gloves, when you get your gloves, when you equip them, causes your deadly throw ability to interrupt spell casting and prevent the spell in that skill from being cast for 3 seconds. So when the target gets away from you and you can see like a druid or a healer and they're about to heal, you can throw, if the combat points are up, you can throw your deadly throw and you can silence them and slow them down. And it could be enough to kill them out on the battleground. So that's super awesome. And another thing I found which pairs really well with sub that I like, take it like a grain of salt. So I'm running a 2-set bonus. I'm running shoulder pads of assassination and I'm running the legs of assassination. Basically, I'm after the 2-set bonus in PvP. So the 2-set bonus allows your cheap shot and your kidney shot attacks to grant you 160 haste rating for 6 seconds. So when I'm in stealth, you go normally straight into cheap shot. It begins the haste buff of 160 haste rating for 6 seconds. And then, of course, you've hemoed a couple of times. You'll only get to 5 combat points. And then you hit kidney shot. That will activate 160 haste rating again. So it's really good little 2-set bonus having the assassination set, dungeon set on. It was a pain to get. It was painful to get these 2 pieces. But well worth it in the end, combined with your other PvP gear. I'm having so much fun with the rogue. Anyway, if you like this sort of content, don't forget to hit the subscribe button and leave a like and comment below. Okay then, see you out in the Outland someday. Okay then, bye.